From MTN News, this is Montana This Morning.
Is the future of one of the state's last drive-in theaters in jeopardy? I'll tell you about the controversy coming up.
Last Tuesday, the city of Belgrade's proposal to potentially take over the Central Valley Fire Department got shelved. I'm Jolie Lee, and I'll tell you what's next for the station as they continue to navigate multiple challenges.
And no one should be alone for the holidays. That's the motivation behind this program at the Boseman Senior Center. We'll tell you about that coming up. Good morning, Southwest Montana. 6:31 on this foggy December 13th.
Yeah, absolutely. Foggy in the mining city is a fact. Now, we've been tracking this ever since the top of the 5 o'clock hour, and it's seemingly
just disappearing.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And hopefully it will be disappearing by about the 10 o'clock hour, maybe noon. But once it does, that sunshine, it will be shining bright, both in the eastern and western portions of our viewing area. But let's take a look at the temperatures right now. If you're heading out to work, well, grab a jacket. It's going to be a little chilly out there. We're dealing with some teens, a little warmer in a few select places, but definitely a December day. Let's just be clear about that. Now, taking a look at Futurecast, you can see some clouds are hovering around the Homestake Pass area, but as we're going into the day today, it virtually all disappears. That is until tomorrow. We're going to delve into that in a little bit, but first, let's just focus on today. Boseman is looking nice and warm, especially as that sun is getting higher and higher. But again, when that sun goes down, it is going to get chilly out there. And that's because we simply don't have a lot of cloud cover. That cloud really helps insulate us, sort of like a big blanket with those warm temperatures. So no clouds, no warmth while the sun is down. We are going to explore more of your forecast. Put a grade on that grade book in about 10 minutes.
Alrighty, thank you, Jane. Well, there's a proposed travel stop that could move in next to an old drive-in theater in the mining city, and the owners of the Bow DriveIn are worried that the travel stop next to their outdoor movie theater could disrupt their business and then possibly force them to shut down. This near their drive-in just south of Butte. Our John Amy tells us why the drive-in owners are concerned.
The Bow DriveIn, just outside of Butte, is one of the last drive-in theaters in the state of Montana. But the family that's owned this business for decades fears for the future of this business if a proposed truck stop is built next door.
You know, the extra traffic of semis and light pollution and noise and you know, I don't think that would be, I don't think people would like that.
Ronning Development is seeking a conditional use permit to build a convenience store and gas station on the 17 acres of land located off Interstate 15, just east of the drive-in theater. The family fears the proximity of this business would potentially force them to close.
People don't come to movies like they used to. You know, so yeah, even the slightest disruption, you know, could lead people not to want to come.
The Hanson family has run this drive-in just south of Butte since 1977. As one of the few remaining drive-in theaters, it attracts people from all over.
Well, I think it's the experience. It's something that they want to take their kids to before it goes away.
The Hansons say the theater is a special place that brings the community together. People have even proposed marriage at the drive-in.
I'll put some pictures on the screen for them, and they, you know, they'll get out and propose in front of everybody, and cars honk.
The owner hopes people will voice their opinions about this proposal at an upcoming zoning meeting.
A truck stop, I think, would diminish that enjoyment. So I'd like to see people voice their opinions if they don't want that nearby.
And a little closer on this side of the divide, the Central Valley Fire Department is now facing very uncharted waters, this after a series of hardships. And for a while, they hoped to fall under the city of Belgrade, but as our Jaleesa Lee reports, that proposal is now up in smoke.
Last Tuesday, the city of Belgrade's proposal to potentially take over the Central Valley Fire Department got shelved. Now the station is trying to figure out what's next.
You know, there's been a lot of tough conversations, kind of from staff to staff, kind of still digesting the results of the mill levy.
Jake Zalomi used to be the fire marshal for Central Valley Fire, but right now, he's the active fire chief, a role he's been filling since previous chief Lonnie Rash resigned on November 10th. His resignation came just 2 months after being on the job. He's the 4th fire chief they've lost since 2022. Rash stepped down just 3 days after the November 7th election when voters turned down a $30 million operating levy for the fire district, which would have added about $2 million to the Central Valley Fire Department's annual budget.
We're learning a lot along the way, kind of during this period of transition for our agency between leadership.
Without the mill, the department needs to reduce expenses. One idea the self-governed station was leaning toward, coming under the umbrella of November 5th, the city withdrew its proposal to take over the Central Valley Fire Department to do more analysis, according to Zalomi's understanding. We contacted the city of Belgrade to learn more about their reason for withdrawing the proposal, but as of deadline, we have not heard back from them. Were you guys disappointed at all?
You know, I think there was some mixed reaction. You know, overall, there's some advantages and some change, which is hard. You know, and with that change, you know, comes opportunity at some point.
Zalomi says even though the offer is no longer on the table,
if it occurs again in the future, you know, we're here for the discussion and to learn more.
At Tuesday night's fire board meeting, they're scheduled to discuss the search for a new fire chief.
Right now, we're just kind of hoping to kind of move forward, get leadership in here that's stable to kind of build into the future.
In Belgrade, Jolisa Lee, MTN News.
The Gallatin County Commission has approved more than $600,000 in a low-interest loan for a mobile home park in Belgrade. Our Heaven Van explains how this unique affordable housing project will work and the motivation that's behind it.
As affordable housing becomes harder to come by in Gallatin County, the Commission voted to approve over $600,000 in low-interest loans to preserve a local Belgrade mobile home park.
The project essentially is helping the current residents within the mobile home park purchase the land from underneath them as a community, as a resident-owned community.
Gallatin County Commissioner Zach Brown says 39 mobile homes will separate from Belgrade Village Park and reestablish themselves as a separate community association.
They're converting the name to be Stan's Garden, which is a really sweet tribute to a deceased previous community member named Stan, who apparently was just a great neighbor and really loved and cared about this community.
Brown explains the motivations behind this project.
Mobile home housing and manufactured home housing is a really important housing type for young people, for low to moderate income families who are working and living here in the Gallatin Valley. We're losing more of them all the time to redevelopment, to higher end homes and housing types. And so preserving the parks that we have is crucial to maintaining a lifeline for working class, low to moderate income people who are trying to make it here.
Moving forward, the county is hopeful about being able to preserve more parks in the area.
Mobile home park owners are often getting solicited by developers or investors all the time. And I would just love to feature this project in our community as kind of a model for what's possible.
This project will be the first time Gallatin County has ever used the revolving loan fund for mobile homes. In addition, the State Board of Investors will be voting this week to contribute another $4 million in loans to preserve this local park. In Belgrade, Heaven Van, MTN News.
Well, now that the holiday season is here, for some it might not always bring the most cheer, but the Boseman Senior Center is working to change that. Our Krista Merkel reports on how they're trying to make the holidays special for seniors who might be alone.
With Christmas coming up, some senior citizens may feel lonely without friends or family. But at the Boseman Senior Center, they're trying their hardest to make every senior feel special this holiday season.
Oops, whoops, Marty. Oh, I'm sorry.
There's a lot of people that come here and this is their community.
Ron Johnson and his wife would come to the Senior Center on a regular basis together until she passed away from Alzheimer's last year. He says the center has given him relationships he needed.
For the older people here, it's not a nursing home, but it provides a community and a fellowship that's really very needed.
The center hosts many different activities such as exercise classes, bingo, meals, and more. Nutrition Program Coordinator Michelle Latender says the center not only ensures people who come in will have a good holiday, but isolated seniors at home feel special too.
We work with people who don't have family.
Yeah.
And they're the first priority. People who are shut-ins and they are homebound and cannot come. We have a special meal for them.
Director of Marketing, Development, and Fundraising, Christy Wetch, says she works hard to make sure everyone knows how much the center cares about their members.
Thursday when we have our lunch, I'll put out baggies of goodies and little gifts like little lotions. That means the world to them. It didn't cost much, but we thought about them.
For Johnson, a place like this gives him fulfillment during the holiday season.
I'd much rather be totally involved and just bringing life wherever I possibly can. And this is a good place to do it.
In Boseman, Kristen Merkel, MTN News.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. Coming up, Jane will have a quick look at your forecast, and we have some tips on how you can save on buying those holiday gifts this season.
Do you need help paying for all those holiday items you're buying this year? Well, we'll show you the best ways to earn some extra money for the holidays.